Hello, my name is Katie Morse, and today I'll be talking about gamification, motivation theory, and ethics, and how they are important to understand. So in the first slide, I'll be talking about motivation and gamification. But before we get into all the theories and ethic concerns, we first have to understand what gamification is. Gamification is not making an activity into a game. So, for example, when you were a child and you're in math class with your friends and you were given a times table and you all dared each other to try to beat each other and who can be the fastest at completing that times table. You and your friend wins. That may have some game elements in it, like if you try to be fastest, but it may have a negative effect on you, such as you not putting in correct answers. Your friend winning is not going to affect your grade. Your friend winning necessarily is not affecting you or motivating you or trying to change your behavior in a certain way for the better. The purpose of gamification is to have motivational techniques that make the game fun, the behaviors that we want our players to do fun as well. Gamification is about taking game elements and using them to solve a problem, not about making games directly. But in order to do this, we must understand the way our players think. We can't just make a game that motivates players if we don't know why they are motivated in a certain way, or the different motivational things, or what ethics are behind what we're trying to motivate players to do. So in the first theory, which is Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs, it is basically we need to complete needs before we can focus on certain tasks. For example, if you were at a job and you haven't slept for 2 days, which is a mandatory need, your productivity may be off. You may not be able to accomplish as much of work as you want to. You may not be successful in your work in general. You may make a lot of mistakes in your work. But if you do get sleep, the basic requirement, or you get like a restful weekend, this can affect your work positively and you're re-energized. You can focus more. You can do more amounts of work than you could without sleep. So I'm going to explain how this works. So these four are deficiency needs, and if they are not met, they'll often lead to negative feelings. So the two on top are secondary needs. They are the top levels and do not necessarily always come with negative feelings, but we may seek out the negative feelings and may think these are the reasons why we're having negative feelings, but that may not be the case, and actually it may be these lower needs that are affecting our feelings and how we are motivated. So all these levels are interconnected. These are the major needs you need, and this is the last need. So, for example, if you are not able to bring food, water, or a place to sleep, it may affect your friendships. It may affect your relationship with others, not being able to provide, or struggling to even provide for yourself. If you are not feeling safe, then you're not going to have you're not going to be able to do your daily tasks. If you need to use the restroom, you can't focus on what you're doing if you badly need to go. Let's see, what's another example? If you're tired, you may disrespect others because you may snap at others because you do not want to be bothered, and things like that. So a way that we can motivate players using this theory is a game that targets the player to attend their lower needs, such as sleep or stability in their life. So we can have the player be able that we need to have the player sleep, and they can have benefits before doing a task if they decide to sleep. If they don't decide to sleep or attend their lower needs, or actually higher needs, they don't have a negative effect on the tasks that you do in the game. This can motivate them to actually, in real life, look at their needs and what they need to do. But there is ethical concerns behind this, such as targeting behaviors. We have to be careful of this because we must think, why are we trying to change the way they behave or the way they think? It can be easy to encourage them to be, it can be easy to encourage them unethically. for example, if we motivate them to work towards things they love, is it right that we are moving them away from their stability? For example, if we tell them, hey, try to get your dream job, or try to go to college and finish things, we must also think what that may mean for them personally. For example, an example, say they have an office job. If we make them go to college, that may affect their time management or their job in general. They might have to cut back hours. They might have to look at if they want to continue doing their job or focus on college. That can affect their stability in life and how they bring food to their own table. If they go for their dream job, that can affect their stability as well, because they are getting more focused on what they need to do to be able to accomplish their dream job and taking the focus away from their actual job. So next theory is cognitive dissonance theory. So this is the feeling of stress and discomfort when people hold two contradictory beliefs or when they act in a way that's contrary to their beliefs. We see this in the real world right now, which is kind of ironic. For example, votes need to be counted, or votes need to be stopped, or stop counting the votes. Mail-in voting versus attending in person to cast a vote. Mask versus no mask. Mask protect others. A mask infringe on my constitutional rights. There's different contrary beliefs in the world right now. So a way that a game can be used to motivate, or this theory can be applied, is a game that looks at both sides and gives the player the choice to choose. So this kind of reminds me of Quantum Code Dreams games, such as Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain. This makes the player make decisions. They may not always believe in those decisions. They may believe in those decisions, and it will affect the players around them, it will affect the world, it will affect the storyline and the ending of the game. What this game does, by the time the player reaches the end, they want to go back and replay because they want to see what other endings there are, or maybe they had a boring interaction with the player, they want to excite the interaction, or they want to do something new. So this may change their behaviors and their beliefs, how they view things. But you have to be concerned about emotional valence and target behavior again. If we target behavior, it may cause a negative valence, which is usually like sadness, anger, hate, envy. So an example is it okay to make someone feel bad or the player feel bad about not able to complete their tasks in the game or the tasks in real life or their daily goals? Say they didn't complete one task and you make them feel bad. Is that okay? That's something we need to consider if we gamify this. The last theory is attribution theory. So attribution theory is when we look at others and try to assign causes to those behaviors. For example, when you're in traffic and someone has their turn signal on, you're going to think, okay, they're passing someone, they're trying to get ahead of me, or they're trying to exit off the off-ramp or on-ramp, or they're trying to make a right-hand turn or left-hand turn. We assume what that signal means, we don't question it. But there's different attributions. So there's internal attribution, behaviors that are based on internal characteristics. For example, when someone doesn't do their work, we think they're lazy. Or if someone has a different opinion from us, we can sometimes think they are uneducated or dumb. External attribution is based on surroundings or external sources. For example, a boss in a game that you cannot defeat, that means the game is imperfect, it's bad, it's imbalanced. Or me personally, Sunday is the greatest day to drive on the road because everyone's at traffic. Everyone is in church or at home most of the time on Sundays, so it's a great time to go out and drive and do things, or get like groceries and things done on that day. And then of course we have our fundamental attribution error, which happens a lot. This overemphasis of internal attributions and underemphasis of external attributions. For example, if someone next door to you during the day is playing music out loud and you can hear it, you may think they're selfish or they're being kind of mean or rude towards you. But in all honesty, music can help your neighbor, motivate them to do tasks around the house like cleaning and getting things done. Or they can be having a huge, massive celebration, such as a graduation or someone's birthday. Or when you go to a store and there's a sale on different types of meats, such as steak, and you see someone grab a whole bunch of steak, you may think they're inconsiderate because you want steak and they're grabbing all of it. But you don't really think that person may be using or getting that much steak to give to others, to help other people, or help other family members. A game that can be used to motivate is have a player look at NPC doing tasks that both affect the player's negative and positive, and have the players decide why they're doing that. So if NPC does something negative to you, you have to assess kind of like why they try to be negative towards me, or is there a true reason why they're being negative, or positively, if the NPC is being positive, think why are they doing this, or do I really need to assess it, or is it just common, or have to really make the player think why they're doing these certain behaviors. So there is an ethical concern to this, though, which is autonomy and objectification. We have to make sure that our players don't feel like they're just another task or object, and we're motivating them to actually do something for them and others. So, for example, if we have a game that motivates the player to buy more eco cars or drive their vehicles less because of pollution, well, that may make them feel like they're just another sale for eco-friendly cars. Eco-friendly cars get more business, and their vehicle, or the vehicle they love the most, it's their cherished vehicle, their businesses go out, so they can't service that vehicle as much. We have to think of how we're making a player play a role in what they're doing. So in conclusion, while we look through different theories, we must realize that gamification is not the common belief of making games out of an activity, that there is actually more to gamification, and the daunting task of motivating the player to change their behavior can be difficult sometimes. But if we understand what motivates players and what ethical concerns are connected to them, we will succeed in the challenging tasks of gamification. Here are my references for the image that was used on the needs. I hope you enjoyed.